but it's perfect for us, as we slide in on our first episode.
Yeah.
Big dicks out. We're like, yeah, you leave. We're gonna come in and fuck that dead horse.
Yeah. 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 And this is a PC centric podcast,
Yeah.
and we're
Mostly
very
PC. We don't-
anti PC at the same time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Nuclear Hand Grenade. As always, I am your host, Justin Land, the man with the biggest dick on the planet, the supreme intelligence, the wizard, the magician, the oracle. With me, as always, this is the first episode, but I'm going to keep saying that. As always, is Alexandria Jorge, the beta cuck supreme, the man with tiny muscles, the man with a shriveled up penis, basically a vagina that sticks outward. We're going to be talking about video games today.
My clit is bigger than your dick.
Well,
How
that's
about that?
fair to say. But you're also in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most cocks in your ass. So I can't always compete with things like that.
Gotta make money somehow, bro.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to steal, like every other podcast you've ever heard's format. And let's just start off with what games we've been playing this week. Heyo, you want to start out?
Yeah. I've just been playing a bit of Valheim. Yeah, I know. I just got into building a bunch of stuff and testing the physics and stuff like that, and I just kind of ran out of stuff to do, looking for a new game to play.
Yeah, I've been playing with my friend, so we only play like once every 2 weeks. But it's always fun. Like, we have barely gotten off the first island, but I remember like the first time we finally built the boat, right? Not the raft, but the actual like Viking ship. And we go out and we've got like a couple bronze pieces. It took us hours of fucking smithing everything and mining. We've got the carts and all that. We sail out with the boat. We get stuck in the irons, right? Because we don't know how to sail yet. And then I just look behind, like he's steering the boat, and I look behind us and I just see it's like stormy, and I see this fucking big snake head stick out of the ground. I'm like, look behind us! And it starts attacking. Yeah, it's like, raw! And then we're like, it's like attacking the ship. They're like trying to shoot it with arrows, but we like didn't figure out we could kill it for like way too long. Destroys the ship. I'm like trying to swim back to shore. Kills us. We were just hysterically laughing.
And you lost your longship?
Yeah, but luckily, so I ran back naked and built a raft, and we went out naked with rafts and I got my stuff, got back. Then we tried to go out again. That was destroyed, but then we finally killed it.
What a hassle.
Yeah, it's just so much fun though, like shit like that, because we had no idea there was like a sea serpent, and just to like be out there and be like, oh my god.
Yeah, I remember the first time I came across that, I was like, what the hell? Like, I didn't think that would be that easy to kill either, so I just kept on sailing and it couldn't catch up to me. Yeah, but then the one time I really got screwed, God, what are they called? Those fire things. Yeah, they're like these fire creatures and they shoot fire. I can't believe I forgot what they're called, but I was pulling my ship up to the shore, and these fire things come around a tree and shoot these fireballs at me and destroy my longship. So that's the one time I really gotten screwed in Valheim so far.
Yeah, that's a fun game though.
It is. It's surprisingly good. Like for $20. Yeah, that's a good deal.
What I thought was like so crazy about Valheim was like when we was initially downloading it, right? Because like I came in because all the hype, saw it on the front page or whatever, but barely looked at it. And my friend was like, we're looking for a game to play together because we're doing chess. We wanted like a video game, so we both downloaded it, and I was like, how is this thing only like 4 gigabytes? Like, because it seemed like from the videos and stuff, it seemed like way higher quality. And then you get in and you realize how low quality the textures are. But when it's all put together, it looks beautiful. Like the way they utilize lighting and stuff to cover up that kind of grainy style of graphics they have is like really cool.
The developers actually, they talked about that, and they said that they were kind of going for a PlayStation style graphics, and that they went for more of the environmental, atmospheric with the lighting and the all that kind of stuff. And I think it actually looks a lot better than a lot of games that try to do really well with just the graphics. And they say screw the lighting and screw the particles and all that kind of stuff. I think they did a good job with Valheim for sure.
Yeah, it like reminds me of like the very first like video game like review when I was just making those like shitting on video games, like indie games
Oh, I remember that.
videos. And one of them was like it was like some indie game for some series that people knew. Maybe it was like a book series. But I remember it was like this small team, and they tried to make this cool 3D graphic world, and it just was awful, you know. And I remember making the point. It's like, look, if you don't have the budget to do this kind of thing, maybe take the more artistic approach. Maybe head in that direction instead. You know, like utilize the money that you have in areas that can actually benefit. You know, like a storyline, like lighting, things like that. So it's really cool to see developers, you know, doing that and really kind of playing to their strengths.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good. So just Valheim, anything else?
No, again, I'm looking for a new game to play. I bought my wife a Nintendo Switch for her birthday, but you know, I'm kind of a hardcore gamer, so no. But honestly, dude, like she's really good at Civ 6. Like no joke, like. I always go military and science, which I know I probably shouldn't. Not sometimes I'll like mix culture in with that, but she goes hardcore culture and religion sometimes, and she'll beat me by about 10 turns, like every time.
It's definitely, I think, yeah, culture got a big boost compared to like Civ 5, especially because now like you get almost no penalties for going wide, which I think is kind of a problem because I like Civ 5. Like going tall a lot, and that there was serious penalties to happiness going wide.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but at the same time, Civ 6 is fun because you get to go wide, you know, and you get to go as wide as possible, and you get to make like culture really, really powerful by going wide, which also shouldn't be a thing. But
what do you think is the better Civ? Civ 5 or Civ 6?
I think. Well, it's like I think they have the same problem where Civ 5 sucked until it got its final expansion, and I think Civ 6 was a better product at first, but you know, still pretty empty until all the recent expansions. So I'd say I guess I like Civ 6 more now. Like I like plotting the district zones. It adds like a really cool kind of mini game of like how to arrange things and get the most like yields from your tiles.
Yeah.
Like the governor system and earning the great scientists and stuff that way. And then, of course, just like the amount of civilizations they have now and different leaders for those civilizations.
Yeah, I'd have to say Civ 6 is better too because I haven't really looked back at going back to Civ 5. And I couldn't even really tell you the differences between them anymore. Like it's been so long. I remember in Civ 5, like the workers had what was it? They would disappear. You gotta use them once and then they'd be gone. And in Civ 6, you can use them 3 times or no. But depending
Civ
on
5, they never disappeared. It was just that every single time you created a worker, the cost would go up.
Oh,
so they didn't disappear. Yeah, so they didn't disappear after a use. Like they stayed permanently, but they'd be more and more expensive to create them.
Okay.
Yeah, which was kind of a problem though because. For one, they were the only way to build roads, which now you use like the caravans to do that. And for two, you get to a point where you had all your roads, you had all your tiles basically done, and then workers were basically for nothing. And to have all these resources eating up all your resources without actually providing any value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good games. So I've been playing. Let's see. I've been playing a little Path of Exile. I got back into that for this season. Started a few weeks ago, and I haven't played it in like a couple years. And I've played it since it was only 3 chapters, and now they're like 10 chapters, and the game's fully fleshed out. It's just crazy how much stuff they've added. It's like they took this like 1,000 skill tree, and then they added like another one for the map system, end game, and then there's all these beasts you can capture now, and like they add different stuff. So the level of complexity, and already probably the most complex action RPG ever, is just through the roof now. It's like almost like EVE Online status of complexity and like hard learning curve.
I'm looking it up on Steam right now. Path of Exile.
Yeah.
It's free to play, huh?
Yeah, very free to play. I played probably a couple 100 hours before I ever put any money into it, and so the one bad thing is like they give you enough storage spaces at first, but you will, like, if you get into it, you really want to pay like $10 and get yourself some more of the fancy storage tabs. Cause some are bigger, some like you can just color code, and so you can like, and some are made specifically for currency or cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's an MMORPG. It was released in 2013 by a company called Grinding Gear Games, which I'm not familiar with that dev. They published it too, so that's actually pretty impressive that they were able to fund it, you know, being such a smaller company. I would imagine they're a smaller company, you know, haven't ever heard of any of their games.
They kind of did the early access thing, but again, it being free, so it's not like a big deal. But yeah, they've worked on it very systematically over the years, because like again, there was only 3 chapters or when I first started playing it. They call it MMORPG, but it's more of like a MMO ARPG. You know, it's basically Diablo 2 but online. And it's just really awesome. So and getting into that, having a lot of fun.
It's all about the loot.
It's all about the loot, the builds. Because again, if you look at the skill tree, it's like 1,000 different skills that you can take, and you can basically make anyone into anything. And it's pretty punishing game, so you really do, when you're starting out, you really got to find like a build and just like fuck that build in the ass, dude.
Yeah,
otherwise,
nice and good.
Otherwise you're gonna get bent over, dude. Because like the amount of effects and shit at the end game is so crazy. Like when you get like all these like skill nodes piled on top of each other with items and effects piled on top of each other with skill gems, I mean, shit's just going wild. Like I've been doing like a necromancer style build. And I love it. I mean, Diablo is like not even close anymore. We'll see what Diablo 4 does, but
well, hell, I'll look into it. You know, like I've been saying, I've been looking for a game to play, so that might be the one.
Yeah, it's really good, especially if you like want something to like research and watch videos about when going to bed. You know.
Yeah,
so it's great.
Something to fill the brain a little bit.
Yeah. Focus on. Yeah, because I love learning systems. That's why like those are kind of my favorite type of games.
We're both similar with that. Yeah, I call it depth, where like there's so many games that come out nowadays where there's just no depth to it. Like even with games like Call of Duty, you know, which has its, you know, and Doom Eternal, where it's like you can appreciate it for its pure first-person shooter elements, but there's not a whole lot of depth to it. And that's why, as people know on the Havoc gaming channel, I'm Havoc, by the way, I like Ark so much, is because there's so much depth to that game. Like every dinosaur has its own stats. You know, you can tame different things. You can build so many different types of structures. Like, I think that game is probably one of the most innovative and most difficult games to ever be produced. And, you know, they catch a lot of flack, Wildcard Studios does. But I've learned enough about programming now that you try to program a game like that. I dare you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, they've had a long time. Like, they have been making it better and working on it. So that's cool. But I don't know. Arc, I don't know. It takes too long to do anything. Like, the standard, like, I know you can change the settings. Like, our server that we used to play on.
Oh, you have to.
We had it.
You gotta change
like
the settings.
slightly faster mining and stuff. But even then, it still took like forever if you wanted to breed dinosaurs and really get to that next tier.
Well, and that's a problem in itself, like having all the options available to you, because I think that can take out of the game. Like if you make everything too easy and you make like taming dinos like way too fast, it's like, well, now you're taking too much challenge out of it. So there's like a fine balancing act, like how you set up the game. Because
100%.
If you play it vanilla, you're not going to have a life, and you better not have a job, you know?
I think none of you guys had a job at that time. And actually, I think that was when I got out of the Navy too. So I didn't have a job. So we were just playing it like it was a job. And it kind of was like work. It's like, oh, I got to log in and go grab stone.
Oh, yeah. I got to make the sweet vegetable cakes for the Akatina so they don't starve to death. God damn it.
Yeah. You know what it actually reminds me of is when, like, I'm not a WoW player, but like I played the beta way back in the day, and then I played like a couple months on. But what I remember like thinking about WoW and why like a lot of my friends hated it and quit was at first it was very community oriented, and it was very hard to get shit done. So like if you got a rare drop or you killed this raid, everyone on the server knew you. Like you were famous. You know, like your E-peen grew, dude. You had that big, massive, veiny E-peen because you like, you know, like first kill, like first boss kill or something. And it was like the dedication and the hard work to get there is what made it so everyone looked up to you and kind of created this need or this drive for you to want to do better and want to play more and get shit done so that people would recognize, you know, what you've done. And I think, yeah, like a lot of games, they either make it too easy and then like you get bored. It's like, oh, I'm in the end game after 15 hours. Like, okay, now there's nothing else to do. Or, you know, it's way too hard, like Arc vanilla. But luckily, they at least give you the ability to tweak settings. Like, I think 3 times gathering, 3 times XP is probably pretty reasonable because you still get hundreds of hours to get to the end game. There's still a lot to do without it being like, oh yeah, it's going to take you 40 hours to even get iron. So good luck, buddy.
Yeah, after you tame an Ankylo, and that alone, I mean, you're 40 hours into the game at that point, even maybe. And that's the length of a lot of games nowadays. It's like you're lucky to get 40 hours out of a game sometimes.
Yeah. And then, so the other game I've been playing was Disgaea 5. I think that was on sale recently. I played all the others.
Disgaea.
Yeah. My weeaboo powers are emerging. And that's another game, like really complex systems. I don't know. I'm like too old for anime now. Like I respect it. I have a lot of friends who still like it, but I just look at it and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go kill myself. Like this is horrible. I hate the voices and the
yeah.
Let's go eat.
Oh,
you know,
no.
All the same tropes.
Have you heard of Genshin Impact?
Yeah.
Brooke's been playing that quite a bit, and her sister plays that too. But there's a character in it called Paimon, and it's like this little blonde fairy thing that follows you around. It's like this really pipsqueaky voice, and it was so bad. And I think that
like Navi?
It was way worse than that. Yeah. Way worse. I can't. I want to do an impression of it, but there's no way I could do it.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, but that times 1,000. And anybody who's watching this podcast, if you know what I'm talking about, let us know in the comments section, because I think that the developers actually got so much hate over that character. They actually had the voice actor come back in and re-record all of her lines to tone it down, because Brooke started a new file, and I was like, oh, she's mildly less annoying, Paimon. And but yeah,
I like to imagine they brought her back in to like do the voices, and they're like whipping her. Better.
It is China, so who knows?
Yeah, that's how they do it.
That's how they do it. That's how you make money in China.
Everyone was like hyping that game up, and they're like, "Oh, it's like Zelda, but it's got gotcha mechanics." And like, I play gotcha games. Like, I hate it, but like, I love it at the same time. But yeah, I played it for like 2 hours, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty gay. Like, this game's pretty gay." So you know, I'm like, awesome. People love it, but it's not for me. I'm gonna go do something less gay, like have sex with a man, and play this game.
Oh, I'll get everyone to hate me right now. You ready? I think Breath of the Wild is the most overrated game I've ever played in my entire life. I think.
But Zelda.
I would give it a 4 out of 10.
Jesus, that's wild.
The graphics are generic. There's too much space that's empty, and it's just I was just really disappointed with it. Brooke and I were so excited. That's why I got her the Nintendo Switch for her birthday, because we were so excited to play it. And maybe it was that expectation that led to us being disappointed. Like, oh, this is gonna be so great, you know. And that's usually why I go into things with low expectations. But you know, Zelda, you know, and I'm old, so
yeah. Even like remembering being like 10 playing like Ocarina of Time isn't enough nostalgia for you to even like it.
Man, A Link to the Past, dude. That's my number one.
I was like in foster care, and this is way after PlayStation was already out, and like 64 was already out. Maybe PS2 had just come out, but all we had was a regular Nintendo. and they had this old projector big screen TV. So like, it was a classic. So we'd literally be sitting there playing like Tetris on this like old school big screen TV. And they had a Zelda, the gold cartridge, and then Link 2, the gold cartridge. And I'll make it us even more unpopular. I'll make us people even hate us more. I thought Link 2 was better than Link 1 because I like the side scroll RPG mechanics of it. Like because Zelda's not a RPG by any stretch of the imagination. It's an action game,
action adventure
puzzle game.
Yeah.
And Link 2 had like RPG mechanics. And if I remember correctly, and it was like 2D. It was like I thought it was a lot of fun. So that was kind of like my old school one that I played. But Ocarina of Time is the one that really hooked me in.
I think that did it for a lot of people. I remember vividly that Christmas when I got that, and I was so excited, and it did not disappoint. It was just
remember the playground combos about it being like, oh, did you find this? Or there's a secret heart container if you go to the farm, but you're an adult then, and then it's all scary.
Yep, Epona, getting Epona.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yep. And she's like on the thing, and like the sun's setting or whatever. And you're like riding off, and the farmer's like, yes.
Yes.
Here's a horse, little boy.
Oh god.
You can have it for free.
No.
You just gotta come milk my cows.
No.
Oh, by the way, my penis is named Cow.
Milk it.
Close my eyes and suck it out of a tube. Close your eyes and suck it out of a tube.
Welcome to nuclear hand grenade.
Yeah.
Nuclear grenade. We took the hand out of it.
I didn't. He took the hand of it. I'm saying hand, and it's both.
Yeah, it's both. You can call it whatever.
It's both. Yeah. Okay, so Disgaea 5 I've been playing. Not much to say about it. Weeaboo game. Great tactics game if you love Final Fantasy Tactics style and you can handle anime bullshit. Very deep, cool game. And then RuneScape. I started playing RuneScape again. And they're doing like a double XP weekend, like 2 weeks thing. So that's been cool. Grinding that out.
Well, explain what RuneScape is, because I'm not even really that familiar.
So RuneScape is a MMORPG. Like I started playing it in maybe '99. Like they had 3 servers. The wild wasn't even out yet back then. Some kid at school told me about it, and you could play it in the browser, so you didn't have to have like. So we got to play it at the library.
The future.
Which is yeah. And so I've been playing it for a long time, off and on. I'll take like 5-year breaks and shit. But it's a cool like MMORPG because it's really skill. Like it's based on skills, not just fighting. So like fighting is a big component of the game if you want to go that direction. But there's like skilling is a big component. So like mining, fishing, you know, smithing, hunting. It has all these different skills and stuff that are really fun to like grind out. It's a great game, like if you're watching YouTube videos or watching TV, just to have something that you're AFKing with. And yeah, it's just been around forever. Graphics are horrible, but it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. The community is somehow nicer than it's ever been. Like it used to be little guys like us, like 14-year-old toxic trolls, be like, oh, you're a gay little bitch. Your mom's a hoe, you know. So now it's like I think like a lot of like older women play it, so it's like very nice and like people are friendly. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, just been playing those. Not much of any of the cool new popular stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the news. There's like a couple things I want to touch on here.
Mick Gordon's coming back.
Mick Gordon,
the composer for Doom. Who, the feud with id Software. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just made that up. I just made that up.
Okay. He should be coming back. People were pissed about this. Yes, this is a fake news podcast. Anything you hear here is just us regurgitating something we've read, probably wrong. So,
or we made it up because we thought it would sound really cool and it would surprise people.
Yeah, we're gonna have the freshest takes of lies of any podcast.
Link is a hermaphrodite. Shigeru Miyamoto came out and told everybody. You didn't hear about that?
Transitioning, actually. So what they want to touch on was Microsoft. This happened like a week or two ago. The news came out. looks like August, Microsoft will be dropping its cut for people selling on its store from 30%, which is what Steam does, to 12%, which is in line with what Epic does, I believe. So if like I make a game and I sell it on Microsoft Store, they're only taking 12% for using their platform, but
Nice.
Steam's going to take a third of my money at 30%. And I guess Steam's being sued right now as well for basically having an effective monopoly.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Well, what I think's funny about that is obviously monopolies are a problem, and
But it's
you can
not.
use. Well, okay, I think it is. I think like 70% or 80% of all gamers use Steam mostly.
I do.
Most games get sold on. But my problem with it is like, look, if you can prove shady practices, sure, they should get sued to know not to do that anymore. But it seems like Steam, not only were they the first ones there, but they are the company that has built up a good, like, it's not just a game platform to buy games on. I mean, when I go on Steam, I can look at a game, I can see its reviews, I can see thousands of people's reviews on it written out well. I can look at a community of people, discussion boards, and all different topics on that game.
Oh.
I can look at people's screenshots and videos. I can watch people play that game live. I can look at guides right there. I can just click while I'm playing a game, shift tab, click on a guide, look, community made guides. It's like, oh, here's how you do this, boss, or here's how you get, more turnips and yada yada.
You know what's really cool about Valve too? Is that like the way that they hire people, like you do have to be like one of the best people in the field that you're applying for. But once you get into Valve, they treat you like an independent contractor. So like if you think that something would make Steam a better platform, like someone just takes the initiative and it's like, hey, Gabe, can I have a couple people help me with this? And Gabe's like, yeah, go do it. Do it.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I think that I think Steam is as guilty of monopolization as the other platforms are of stealing Steam's IP for platform design. So, I mean, who's really the victim here?
But it'd be like one thing. I don't think they're stealing their design because the UI on Epic is atrocious. Microsoft Store is still a fucking joke. Like, who cares how much little they take? But they don't offer anything. Like Epic, we all join Epic because of the free games. It's dope.
Yes.
They're giving out dope-ass games once a week, and I fucking love it. And it's very easy. They don't send you email bullshit. So I love that aspect of it. Even if it's China stealing my information, it's worth it for a few games. Tell you what, you can have it. You could put me in a camp with the Uyghurs for a few video games, China. That's the American way.
That is the American way, God damn it.
Yeah. But, they don't have anything. You couldn't even put you couldn't buy more than one game at a time on their store. I still don't know if they have a cart. Because for months and months, they didn't have a shopping cart. A shopping cart. You could buy things online 25 years ago and they had a shopping cart. You're China. You're like one of the most powerful countries on the entire planet. You're a game company who receives money directly from the Chinese government, or a company that's directly funded by the Chinese government, and you can't figure out a fucking shopping cart? Unbelievable.
Hell, they could hire me. I could put a cart in there. I know enough about programming to do that. Easy. Yeah.
I bet you I could look at a YouTube guide and figure out how to program a fucking cart function. So I mean, these companies it's not just that they're behind. Obviously, they don't have the benefit of 15 years of refining and smoothing out, but they don't have to. Like, some of these things aren't protected under like IP. So you could have just copied a lot of what Steam had, but make it your own, switch things up. But the blueprint's already there. And then you can add your own stuff or new ideas or creative takes. But they didn't even do that. They didn't even copy. They didn't even have a fucking shopping cart. Like, I can't get over that. But no guides, no discussions. The store page is dumb. Like, the reviews are barely there. That's fair. So it's like one thing. If you're a monopoly who's purposely buying out or crushing small businesses or competitors with non-free market rules, like, you're not following the rules and going by the law, and you're like kind of like bending the rules to like push people out of the space, then yeah, you should be held accountable. Like that is a monopoly. But no one's stopping any of these companies from not sucking. Like they're like, oh, it's because Steam is a monopoly. It's like, no, it's because you suck. You know, people want competition because it makes Steam better. Like Steam started to really suck over the last couple of years. They were not like improving the platform very much. They were doing no caretaking of the new games list. So you'd have like 15 fucking shovelware, you know, like Taiwanese fucking, you know, fronts for cocaine on there, you know, money laundering schemes, pushing out like real games like being made. But then once like these other things started popping up, Steam did start fixing some of that. And they've added a few things here and there. So I think competition is good, but you can't say like, oh, this baseball team is a monopoly and they're not letting me play baseball, even though I couldn't beat a high school player. You know, I can't hit as well as like a high school kid can. So it's like at some point it's you too.
Yeah. Well, for another example, my father owns a real estate company, and there was other brokerages that were trying to get the National Organization of Realtors to make it illegal for companies to use drones because some brokerages are too small that they can't afford drones.
Hmm.
How does that make sense?
$600?
Yeah, exactly.
But when I worked at Best Buy, and one of the guys that worked there, like I was in the PC department, and he was in like our little camera drone section, and he did it. And his side hustle was being paid as a contractor for real estate companies to come take the drone shots for them.
Yes.
You know.
Yep.
So they didn't even have to put up the money for a drone if they don't want to pay $800 up front, which is the way smarter move, because he would charge them like 150 and go out and do 2 hours, 3 hours of drone footage. You know, doing like the circle pan up. You know, and he was pretty good at it. So,
and then you fly down and go through the front door in one smooth action. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's what's good.
He's a pimp. Yeah, and then you see a lady getting undressed, and you're like, whoa, this is kind of real estate I like.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of those documentaries online, and I think real estate is really fun. Like, seems like you could have a lot of cool sex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real sexy business, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking kill myself.
So are we closing down this house?
Yeah, you can't pay commission, huh? Well, you know,
I think we could work something out.
Yeah, pretty sure
the pizza guy shows up. He's like, I'm here for the orgy.
Yeah.
There's like a plumber. He's like, oh, hello there.
The pool guy comes in.
Yeah. Somehow your stepmom's there too.
In here?
Yes. Your stepmom's stuck in a dryer.
And the sister's got her hand stuck in the garbage disposal in the sink.
8 giant black guys come in. Who's ready
Real
to
estate, one hell of a business.
Yeah, one hell of a business. You say that as you're like doing a line up a mirror.
We just got kicked off YouTube.
Hell yeah, buddy. Okay. Okay, so that was that news. Microsoft, it's really cool they're doing this. Hopefully they also make their store not suck. And so the next one I want to talk about was Giant Bomb is shutting down, or not shutting down, but like 3 of the major components are leaving Giant Bomb. This is about 6 months after they were acquired. They were acquired by... I'm not sure. I forget the company that bought them. No. It's some other weird named company. But so basically, some of the people that like helped start it were there from the very beginning: Alex Navarro, Vinny Caravella, and Brad Shoemaker. Like core components of Giant Bomb podcast, and the Beastcast and the East Coast are leaving. And this one kind of hits home for me a little bit because I got into like gaming podcasts and stuff from Total Biscuit and the Co-optional podcast. And Total Biscuit would always say like he stole his whole format from Giant Bomb. In many ways, we're just stealing their format. So we are kind of stealing from Giant Bomb too.
They
kind of, yeah. Because like we kind of take off like crib off of the way Co-optional did it. Is kind of what I want to do. And they cribbed off of what Giant Bomb did. And so I got into Giant Bomb podcasts because Total Biscuit always talked about them. And Jeff Gerstmann left GameSpot, over a decade ago to form Giant Bomb because they tried to make him give Kane and Lynch like a fancy like a 8 or something, and he gave it like a 6. And so the GameSpot tried to make him increase the score. He refused to because Kane and Lynch said they weren't going to buy out ads on the website or the magazine if they didn't. So he just left. So he's clearly like has journalistic integrity. And then Giant Bomb's been kind of like a cornerstone for gaming media and podcasts ever since then. So it's kind of like end of an era. Jeff's staying there, so we don't know what it's going to look like moving forward. I assume they're going to have some sort of Giant Bomb cast, maybe with the new crew in the coming months. And we'll just have to see what like how their website changes, what direction they take it. But yeah, you didn't really listen to Giant Bobcast that much, did you, Alex?
No, I didn't. I was never very privy with Giant Bomb. The only time I ever used them as a resource or anything like that, I was experimenting with YouTube and doing game trailer stuff. And I'd go to Giant Bomb to see kind of like the Wikipedia description of a game.
Yeah, they that never got built out as much as I wanted it to, but that was a really cool like idea.
It was like a Wikipedia type of thing.
Yeah, and that was a really cool resource just to have right there on the website. So I know like a lot of people are sad, mad, confused about that. But it's perfect for us, as we slide in on our first episode. Yeah. Big dick's out. We're like, yeah, you leave. We're going to come in and fuck that dead horse.
Yeah. 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 And this is a PC centric podcast. Yeah. And we're very anti PC at the same time.
Yeah. We don't play baby games.
Yeah. Fuck that. Babies. Fuck babies. Piss me off.
Yeah. You console babies, dude, with your gay games.
Zelda Breath of the Wild's the best game I ever played, man. Bad.
Yeah. You're bad people.
You're bad people.
You should feel bad.
That's one.
You should feel bad.
2 is what?
Your penis is the size of a baby's penis.
Even smaller, some would say.
Some would say smaller. A Chinese baby's penis is possible.
Yeah. That's accurate.
3, your muscles are the consistency of tits. What do you think about that? Okay.
Bill Cosby shows up.
Yeah. Basically, console gamers are the Bill Cosby of gaming.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I had a Bill Cosby impression to whip out right now. That is the best impression that you could possibly have as a Bill Cosby.
Yeah, the only thing I can do just sounds racist, so I won't do it. All right.
Not that we have offended no one up to this point.
Yeah, we're a Christian podcast.
We're like POD of podcasts.
We're like the Christian rock of podcasting.
Yeah.
So, our God is a great God. Just get that.
He's so strong.
He's so strong and awesome. Let's go ahead and look at some of the games coming out. We're just going to look at the top sellers list on Steam. The new and upcoming on Steam, rather. So we got Hoods coming out. Looks like May 10th, which should be the same day this goes live. This game looks kind of shitty. Kind of looks like your typical $30 indie third-person type of game. Hope I'm wrong. Kind of giving me like Godfall vibes.
Remember the game Pitfall? Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Dude, that game gave me nightmares for a long time when I was a kid. Like, you start off in that cage and it's swinging. It's like this super creepy animation. And then, like, you manage to get out of there. And then, like, this guy comes out of the corner of the screen, jumps on you, and, like, strangles you to death. It's like, Jesus Christ. That's fucking scary, man.
Isn't that the one with, like, the vines and you have to, like, swing across the...
and this beast is chasing
alligator?
you? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know about the alligators, but there were pits that you could fall into. Pitfall.
Yeah, I think maybe you had to like jump on alligator heads and their mouth would open and close or something.
Yeah. All right, sorry for interrupting.
It's been like 25 years. Unbeatable, looks like anime bullshit, don't care. Infinitoad 2, Infinite Tower Defense. That's coming out. That's already out. Okay, we should have really planned this part out better.
Whatever.
Insurmountable, this one looks cool. I haven't played it yet, but this came out. And it's like a roguelite mountain climbing game. So you like climb up this mountain, and different effects like terrain and stuff, different things can happen to you. different random events, and the mountain changes every time you reload. So that one looks really cool. I really like indie or like roguelites that don't do the traditional like I'm just fighting a monster and gaining power up like that way. So to see them kind of do new things with it besides like finding Isaac or card style is really cool. The Nier Replicant just came out, which is a remake of an older Nier game. That goes in the anime bullshit category. And then one I've heard a lot about, which I haven't seen, is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion?
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like a fun little indie puzzler game, and
they're having
it looks
fun.
like fun. I've heard it's very funny.
Those developers are just having fun. They'll probably make some money off of it, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I've heard good things about it, so it seems like it's doing well for something I didn't hear any hype about going into it. And then Portal Reloaded, which I didn't actually know about. So it looks like Portal a couple weeks ago got a update, or I guess it's just a community mod, but it like improves graphics, adds new puzzles and stuff, and it looks like it's actually supported by Steam, even though it's a community-made mod. So I love seeing them do that.
Stop pulling back, dude. Tell them the big news. Half-Life 2 is coming out.
Oh yeah, Half-Life 2, baby.
Big news.
And then, of course, the big dick game that everyone's talking about is Resident Evil Village is now out. Came out today or yesterday.
Yeah, I think PewDiePie had a video on that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's still around, is he? I thought the Indians killed him or something.
Oh yeah, T-Series? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to, but PewDiePie made a deal with him, and their feud has ended.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Nice. Good for him. The reviews on this, though, are looking really good. Very positive. 93% out of 6,400 reviews.
I was going to guess 8.7, just with my intuition alone.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
9.3, wow.
Yeah. Were you a Resident Evil guy?
No. Back in the Resident Evil days, I was playing a lot of real-time strategy. Like, I played Command and Conquer. Like, that was kind of my thing back when I was younger, in StarCraft. And then GoldenEye when the 64 and Perfect Dark. So I never really had time for that.
Yeah, it was, I played them all, like, back in the day. Like, I didn't really like Resident Evil until Resident Evil 4 came out on GameCube. And that one I loved. I really loved when they took that kind of over-the-shoulder third-person style.
Didn't that one have co-op?
Yeah. It did. The second one was really good on co-op too, or 5, I guess, which is cool. So I really love that direction. I haven't played the newest ones where they've gone first person, because they've gone to more like traditional horror style game, which is just too creepy for me.
It's too scary.
Scary skeletons.
Oh no.
Yeah, so spooky skeletons are too much for me. So I don't really handle those too well. But everyone loves it. The reviews are crazy. The videos are crazy. So this is kind of following in that series. They're bringing back the X-type monster, Mr. X, following you around. So it's going to be like a big witch lady.
Not scary. I'm
Annoying.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when games make the scariest thing in the game superhuman looking. It's like, why don't you just have a murderer, like, with a knife coming after you? Like, Mr. X, not scary. They should have had something a lot cooler than that, personally, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could say this one's going in a better direction, because you have 4 Mr. X's, and they're, like, the creepy witch ladies. So you got a thick vampire lady that we all love, and then I guess she has 3 daughters, and they're all going to be hunting you. But I guess you can kill them, so you can, like, finish them off, from what I understand. So that would make it slightly less annoying to me.
You just gotta build a wood stick, a wood spear.
Yeah. And like those following type monsters, I don't know. I hate that mechanic. Like, it's like, okay, this is definitely adding tension for the first 2 hours. And and then it's just annoying. It just becomes like, oh, I figured out how to run in a circle around it and get away. But it's like now fucking costing me an extra 10 minutes per hour I play just to get shit done. So
Hey, what would you say was the scariest game you played? Like that you can remember from your youth? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I would have to think about it.
We'll come back to it. We can come back to it later.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because like a lot of the ones that are way too scary, I just don't play. However, ones that were like very scary that I could play was like, kind of like the BioShock games, where they're not like jump scare scary, but they're creepy, and like the implications of the world and the universe is very dark and creepy. So those ones kind of stand out, especially like the creepiness of like the little girls draining like the DNA out of people, and like,
oh yeah,
you mutated monster people coming at you all the time.
I think audio is probably the most essential piece to something being scary. You know, because like in BioShock, it was the that big giant thing. What were those called?
Big Daddies.
Big Daddies. Like the noises they made were kind of scary, and then the atmospheric kind of music. Like for me, Quake, the first Quake, when that came out on, what was it, the N64? I think it was. Yeah. That scared the hell out of me. Like the noises that the creatures made. And then Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails actually did the soundtrack for that game. And he's a professional, you know, and so his job was to make scary atmospheric music.
Yeah.
And he did that pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, and I think one thing too that really scared me about the game is like I'm kind of scared of like underwater shit already.
Yeah.
And so like it kind of had the atmosphere sounding of like being in a submarine where you can hear like the pressure of the water squeezing on like this place that you're inside.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? Another one I just thought of was this is actually a funny story. So God damn, I just forgot it. Was Doom. Doom 3 just came out. And I just built my computer, like my first computer that I built. And I was playing it in my room with the like lights off. And it's very dark game.
And that's
very,
the game
like,
with
a lot of jump scares.
With the flashlight, right?
With the flashlight, yeah.
Oh god.
You'd be like, and you had to like switch from the flashlight to the gun, you know, and so it was like creepy. And I'm like in this part, and you know there's gonna be jump scares. And then my aunt comes in to tell me it's dinner time. And she comes in, my computer's facing a wall, so I'm over here. And she comes in, and I jump, and I'm like, knock next time! And she just lets close the door. And to this day, I'm pretty sure she thinks she walked in on me jacking off.
Looking at porn, yeah. That would
like, I don't think...
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she saw the screen. She just let me go,
get out of here! No!
No!
Interesting thing about Doom 3 is John Carmack, I think, had just created the technology for video games. For anyone who doesn't know, John Carmack, prolific programmer, created Doom when he was like 16 years old. But he created it so that when an object moved past a light source, the game would automatically know where to cast the shadow. And before that, what they had to do is they actually had to animate the shadows. So he created kind of like an AI system for shadow lighting.
Nice.
Yeah. That was Doom 3.
Really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's why they went with the flashlight route, so they could kind of show that off, that technology.
Yeah. Well, it worked. I mean, the monsters were really cool looking. Yeah, it was definitely a badass game. I think like a lot of people hated on it, but
it wasn't fast paced. Like what a lot of people were probably expecting.
Yeah, like I guess the most recent one comparable to that was Bethesda came out with it. You're like in the
Rage 2.
Not Rage. It starts with a P. It recently came out. They actually made a roguelite add-on to it, which is interesting. But it's like a first-person shooter, kind of puzzly Metroidvania style game, where they like these mimics will like mimic items in a room, and then like if you see like two trash cans next to each other, you're like, oh shit, one of those is a mimic, you know, and when you turn your back, they like face hug at you.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, fucking it'd probably take too much time to look up, but
nah, yeah, it's okay. Are we still going through the new games coming out?
That's pretty much it for the ones I want to talk about, the big ones that were like kind of front page. Damn it! Now it's on my mind. I just want to fucking. Oh, Prey. That's what it's called. Prey.
Prey. Okay. Yeah, I haven't prayed that.
Yeah, prayed that. Dude, you got to pray to the Almighty God, bro.
I do. John Carmack. I got a bracelet that says WWJCD. What would John Carmack do? Whenever I get stuck programming, it's like I just look at my bracelet and I think, I know what to do.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what is that?
Just, be smart.
Now you're on the spot, bitch.
My answer is be smart.
Be smart.
Be smart.
Yes.
What would John Carmack do? Be smart.
Oh, okay, what final game actually I played, I guess, before we wrap things up, was Chinese Parents, which is like a very interesting game. It's like one of these raising games. You're like a baby, and then you like choose the points, and you like get better at certain things, and try to finish high school with top grades and get the career you want. And you have new generations. So like once you like grow up, then you'll have a kid, and then it'll build on and get better stats.
I've never played a game like that before.
It's very weird for a grown man to play, I think. I think the demographic is typically girls really like those style of games.
Yeah, for me, it's like the depth issue again. Like, where's the depth? Or is it more of just like a linear story where you have a couple options as you go through it, but it's just mostly just a linear type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's both. Like, there's only so many different options that pop up. There are enough to keep like a few runs decent, like, or enjoyable and unique enough. Especially because of the type of jobs you could do. There's quite a bit that you could kind of focus your character on. And then the coolest thing though is as you get traits and stuff, they store like in your character. So each generation is a little bit better stats wise than generation before.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can kind of track like your family tree and stuff, which is pretty cool.
What's the name of this game?
It's called Chinese Parents.
Chinese Parents. Okay, it's on Steam for $10.
Yeah. Yeah. Not sure why I bought it, but I really enjoyed it. I did. I got it like last year or something. But I started playing it again. Yeah, definitely fun. Yeah. So do you have anything coming up on Havoc Gaming Channel?
Not really. I finished the Raft series, and then I was thinking about making some Valheim videos. But there's just so many Valheim videos already that I'm sure my videos will just get buried anyways. And one thing I do when I look at what videos I should make, I kind of look at the competition, and I see how good their videos are. And if I think that I can make a video that's at least 30% better than what's out there, then I'll go ahead and make it. Otherwise, it probably isn't worth my time. So, I don't know. I don't think I'll make videos for Valheim, but I enjoyed playing that. So I'll probably wait until the next game to maybe make videos for something. And then we got this podcast, and that's kind of the thing that I'm most excited about right now.
Every other PC gaming podcast sucks. They're losers, and we are awesome. So just keep that in mind. That's why we're doing this. It's because the market is filled with douchebags and losers
and pussies.
And we're badass. We're badass, hardcore, big dick motherfuckers.
Look at these eyes. These are the eyes of a hardcore gamer.
That is a killer. That is a CS:GO 360 no scope killer right there.
Headshots only. Get the fuck out of here.
The shit he will say about your mom after he fucking no scopes you.
Yeah, it's true.
You're gonna think about for weeks.
It's
dude.
true.
So,
your imagination can't come up with anything that bad.
Your psyche would crumble if you could even imagine the shit we'll say.
The voice of God, decibels lower than mine.
Decibel lower. So anyways, thanks for anyone that listened. It's probably like 2 of you. Thank you. Hopefully we can get 3 at some point. That'd be sweet.
3 would be amazing.
Yeah. I'm Justin Land. That is Alexander Hayho.
Havoc.
This has been Nuclear Hand Grenade. First episode. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.
Godspeed.